Okay, hi guys. Here's the second of my two remembrance videos. So I showed you my little binder that I have. I've had it for, I think I got it before my daughter was born. So it's been on my desk. I actually found it when I moved everything into the new studio space. I'd forgotten all about it, and it turned up in a, box of stuff. So I kept it and set it, excuse me, set it aside and put it on my desk. I do want to do something with it eventually. I thought initially I would take all my prayer cards and do something about putting them in here. Which I'm not going to do. I'd have to punch holes in them or make little clear folders. I think I have a better idea. So this is going to be set aside. I'm not going to do anything with it. And the little chickens my daughter put on there a long time ago. So that will be set aside. I'll do something else with that. But I did find all my prayer cards. My grandmother collected these. I know there's a bunch of them at her house. We're going to be going through her things soon. And I already let my aunt know I'd like at least some of the prayer cards that she has to add to what we're going to make today. I have a couple of them that are, they're not all the same size. So most of the time, they're about this size, which is like 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. But not all funerals are created equal, and this one I have is laminated, so it's a little bigger. This one is not technically a prayer card. My grandmother used to give a little bit of money to a lot of different Catholic charities, and they would send her, prayer cards and little things frequently, and this is one that she gave me, so when she was still alive, so I've had that. It's usually on my bulletin board. I pulled it off a couple of days ago because I'm going to use it in this project that we're going to do. These, as I said in the previous remembrance video, are some flower seeds, forget-me-nots, in remembrance of the son of a friend of mine who died this last year. I also am in the process of getting another pack of seeds from a friend of mine, because I can't find my pack of seeds. It's missing. Anyway, her mother-in-law, who I love, we all loved, Verna Mae Leggett, when she passed away, she was not only an artist but an avid gardener, and she always grew and gave away tomato plants every spring, and so they had tomato seeds with her information on the back. I can't find my tomato seeds, so my friend Cheryl said she has some still. She knows she does, so she's going to dig them up for me and get me one for this project. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little book that when you have something like this that you want to keep to remember that person by, you'll have this little book that you can put it in. I'm going to size mine by the biggest one, which is this one. So first we're going to make a cover out of chipboard, and we're going to cover it, I don't know, probably with scrapbooking paper, maybe with some old Bible pages. I might actually I have a Bible. I know it's blasphemous, isn't it? So I have a Bible I use for collage. Yes, I know all of you out there are cringing. My aunt is probably cringing if she's watching this. I may print or copy the Psalm Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of darkness. I like that Psalm, and I would like it for the cover, so I may copy that or retype it on the computer for the cover. But the initial part of the cover is going to be scrapbooking paper. I do think I'm going to use this little piece for the spine. I'm going to shorten it, but I do think I want it to be this fat. Yeah, because, yeah, I do. I know that means there's a lot of room for a lot of people to pass away. But death is a part of life, and it happens all the time. It happens to all of us eventually, and I want to be able to add to this little book for years to come. So I come from a very large Italian family, so I hate to say it, but that means the spine needs to be kind of big. Now, it doesn't need to be exactly this big, maybe not. Maybe I can narrow it a little bit, but I do need to shorten it. But this is a good piece for the spine, and then I'm going to cut the covers out of these two. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to speed through that part of the video, and we'll be back. Okay, I'm not always filming right now when I'm cutting chipboard. It takes me a long time to cut it right now because I can't put any weight on my left arm, even though I'm right-handed. It takes me a long time, and as you can see, my cuts aren't always perfectly straight. It's not going to really matter for this too much, but I would like them to be straighter, but we're going to just go with that. So I have my front and back cover and my spine. I am going to go get some scrapbooking paper, and I'm going to get my Bible I use for collage out, and we are going to work on covering this, and I'll be back. So we're going to cut our paper for the front and back cover. I picked this paper. I really like that. I think I wanted this one. Yeah. Doesn't have to be exact. Let's see. Pick a set. Oops. 5 inches. And then 5 inches. I'm not going to throw the scraps away. They're going to go to my scrap bin under the table. So this is to cover these. And then we're going to cut a piece that's big enough for this plus extra. I'm actually going to cut a strip that's 4 inches. Let's see. Wide. Alright, so first let's get these covered. And yeah, my cuts are just not exactly straight. Let me see if I can straighten these up on my paper cutter. I don't know if it will. Oh yeah, that's like completely crooked. That was better. So we're going to cover these two front and back covers and then wrap the edges around this way. We're going to cut the corners off and wrap it and pull it kind of tight and make it look nice and neat. So I'm going to speed through that and I'll be back. Okay, so first things first, you saw me use one of my paintbrushes on with my gel medium. I did choose to use gel medium because it's a drier glue, and when I'm working with paper in that way, whether I'm working on a collage or this kind of gluing, the wetter your glue is, the more your paper is going to buckle, and I didn't want that. So, but I don't differentiate my brushes. I use the same brushes I paint with for glue, gel medium, gesso, whatever. I just make sure I clean them really, really well. I do have a video on how to clean your brushes, so if you look down in my videos, there's one down there somewhere. I'll try to remember to put a link, but no guarantees. This is just water with Murphy's oil soap. All my brushes go in here, paint brushes, glue brushes, whatever I've used them on. And then when the jar is full, I take it out in the garage sink and wash them out. Alright, I am going to show you the cover. Here's our outside cover. Cute, right? For the sake of durability, clean this off a little bit. My table's a little bit like it's covered in, I don't know, crumbs or I don't know, something. Whoops. Okay. So for the sake of durability, I'm going to put some duct tape in here. I'm going to just use what I grabbed first, which happens to be white. It wouldn't matter what the color was because this is not going to show. This is just to make it more durable and to have it last longer. I don't want to go all the way to the edge because I don't want the tape to show. Like I said, it's just there to make the book more durable and to have it last longer. It's not there for any other reason. Okay. So there we go. There's our cover. So I'm going to get the things I need together for the inside, and the items I think I need that will enable you to put your cards in as you gather them. But you'll already have some things in here. You'll just be able to put. You'll see. I'm not going to explain because you won't understand. It works in my head. We'll see if it works in real life. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I used one of the folders that Rayette gave me. You will see in the haul and swap video. I cut a piece of it off about 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around. I am going to crease. I'm going to center it on here. Okay, and then I'm going to crease here. I need to know where the spine is going to be. Right here. Just with my bone folder. So that I have these folds. And crease it. Okay. Before we do anything about attaching it to here, we have some work to do. Initially I was going to do this next part with Tyvek or something else. I really am liking this paper, and I want to do the next part with this paper. I'm really liking this paper, so we're going to use this one. So we need to get the paper cutter back. We need some strips that are about let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 4 3/4 inches long. How wide is that? And I think about, let's see, if we do 1 1/4 inches wide. That'll work. So I'm cutting them 1 1/4 inches wide. You're going to need quite a few of them, so you want to keep cutting. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half. We're going to sew them in mini signatures in groups of 2 or 3 into our spine, like this, all the way across. So I'm going to keep cutting and I'll be back. Okay, we've got all our little pieces cut. I think that I have plenty of them to fill my book. Now for this next part, you'll need to attach them. You could staple them in if you have a stapler that will work. I'm going to bind them in with bookbinding thread, which means I need to get my bookbinding box down. So I will do that and I will be back. Okay, for the next step, I need to figure out how many of these little mini signatures I have. And I need to make some marks and make some holes. So I am going to do that and I'm going to speed through that part and I will be back. Okay, all of our holes are poked, so now I'm going to get out one of my bookbinding needles and we are going to get going and bind this book. Alright, I'm going to do that and I will be back. Okay, so all of my little pieces are sewed in. It's just a simple binding technique. I'm not sure I caught that on camera, but it's a simple 3-hole binding. Each one is sewn in separately, and Sea Lemon, among others, has a lot of bookbinding YouTube videos. I will try to find one of her videos on bookbinding, the simple bookbinding, but it's really easy way to bind these. So I did every one separately. The thing that takes the longest is figuring out where to make your marks, as you saw, and punch all the holes. But now they're all bound, and this can be glued in here, centered in and glued. Before we do that, I have a couple more things I want to do to the cover. So we are going to do those things, couple of things, and we will be back. Alright, I'm going to get some stuff together. This is a copy of a Bible I have that I use for collage. This is just it says Everyday Bible, New Century Version. The wording on Psalm 23 is a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I am going to go actually get my Catholic Bible. I was raised Roman Catholic. I'm going to go get my Catholic Bible off the bookshelf in the front room, and I'll probably photocopy that. I may go and look and see if I can just find it on the internet and print it that way too. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'll be back. It's time to start putting things together. I'm going to reinforce these hinges right here, the ends, with an additional little scrap of paper. So let's do that first. Let's use this. Probably don't have to do this, and you could probably use the flowered paper if you want. I just want to make sure this little book lasts and that it's reinforced. You could cover the spine in fabric or duct tape instead of using paper like I did. Any of those options would work. Again, we'll smooth it out with my bone folder. This one is just, let's turn it around. This one doesn't seem to have enough glue on it. Let's see. There we go. Oops. Okay. Then I have my Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There's a typo. I've got to fix it. I'll be back. Okay, I've got my cover almost ready, but I'm worried a little bit about these sections here, and these little, I should have left well enough alone, but these little pieces here stick well on the top, and they just do not want to stick on the bottom. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a happy accident, because I think that I want to add some color to the cover anyways. So I am going to add some washi tape. I'm putting some gel medium underneath the tape because washi tape is a low tack tape, and if you don't, it may not stay there permanently. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I think I want to put one down the center too, so I'm gonna pick out a washi tape and I'll be back. So I found one I like. I think it is definitely a happy accident because I'm really liking the way it's looking with the tape on there, but I want to have this be this way. Probably cut it instead of tearing it, probably get it better. Really like this measuring tape, washi tape. I think I got it on Etsy. I'm gonna have to get some more. There's not much left on there. So before you do anything else, make sure you do what I'm doing and you get your cover exactly the way you want it, because once you do the next step, you can't, it's going to be hard to go back. Now, it's not impossible, but it's hard. Okay. Once that dries, that's going to be what I need to just leave it to dry and not fuss with it. Okay. So we're going to turn it over, and it's going to be this way up. And we're going to glue this in. And then before we do anything else, we're going to let the whole thing dry. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, so our cover is done and mostly dry, and it's ready to put our prayer cards in. I just had some pizza, sorry. Veggie pizza. Those of you who know I'm watching my health, don't freak out. Alright, so I'm going to use a combination of tape runner on the paper cards, but then tape runner and probably tiny attacher on the other cards. So, because I think my tape runner is bigger than the card, I'm going to use this nonstick sheet. Some of the cards I'm going to run the tape runner on the text side, and some of them, I guess you'll see, I'm going to attach on the picture side. It depends on how the card is printed. And you want it, if you get too much glue on there, you can rub it back. So then, I'm going to center it. Yeah. And if I get glue on this side, I can just rub it off. There we go. Like rubber cement. There we go. So I'm going to attach all of my prayer cards. Yeah, I did that the right way, thank goodness. And I will be back. Okay, so here's my little book. I have my Bible verse on the front cover going that way. It turned out really cute, I think. And then you just attach your cards to these little flaps that you sewed in. If you have something big like the seeds or this laminated card, you can use something like this Tim Holtz tiny attacher. And it's just a really small stapler. And put one at the top and one at the bottom. And that, along with the tape runner, is going to ensure that your cards don't go anywhere. And whether you're collecting funeral prayer cards or other kinds of prayer cards, this is a great way to save them all in one place, to flip through it occasionally and not only read the prayers, but to remember the people, if they're funeral cards, that they were printed for. It's a nice thing to remember them by. Alright, that's it for now. I will see you guys all later. Have a good evening. Enjoy your family and spend a few minutes every day just on something for yourself. You deserve it. Bye.